We are here with David Benardo from Zelectric Motors, and we're here to talk about his company and how he got here, where he came from, and where he's going.
This idea got started in my mind probably about 10 years ago. We had a 21-window VW microbus and loved driving it. Just really not much a fan of working on it all the time. The thing was always underpowered, and at that point, really nobody was doing anything like this. So kind of put that idea on the back burner. At the time, we were living out on the East Coast, and there were hardly even any Volkswagens out there. We had the only one, so I really had to do all the work on it myself. There were no mechanics around. I loved the car, I loved driving the car, but honestly, most of the time was spent not driving the car, just working on it. We sold that, and then we moved out here to Southern California about 5 years ago. Noticed all the Volkswagens roaming around, and right away looked into this idea that I had a few years ago about making it electric. Going electric, you just sort of do away with all the rattles and everything that's in the gasoline-powered cars. We met up with people that were building electric race cars called EV West, talked to them about what I wanted to do, and we figured out a way to double the horsepower in an old 63 Volkswagen Beetle, cram enough batteries in there to get about 100 miles out of it. And it was my own personal project. I did think from the very beginning that maybe we could turn this idea into a business if there were, I figured there would be some more people who were interested in turning their Volkswagens electric. Thanks to social media and the internet and YouTube and all those things, people were very interested in taking these classic Volkswagens and making them electric. We love the car, and I've grown up with them, so I felt comfortable doing more, and so we did. We started up Zelectric Motors about 5 years ago. Our focus has just been on Volkswagens, but we're starting now to do Porsches, and we'll probably do a few others, maybe Fiat. Anything that's small and cute and collectible is, right up our alley. One of the great things about going electric with these cars is that we instantly get the double the horsepower. The other great thing is that there's a number of shops in the area that it seems like no matter where you go, there's people there that love working on these cars. There's a number of companies that are devoted to making all the parts for these cars. So they've always been great cars to keep as a classic. We also keep the car classic. We don't cut or weld anything on these cars, so they'll retain their value. They could actually be changed back to gasoline later on down the line.
Tell us about the Volkswagen buses and what you've been doing with them.
We get to instantly double the horsepower by putting the electric motor in there, so it's really wonderful. We're actually using, in all the buses that we're doing, using the same motor that we put in the Beetles, just like VW did back in the day. It just works wonderfully well. That motor bolts right onto the stock transaxle, so again, we don't have to cut the car up, weld anything on. It's really a nice pairing of modern, dependable, high-powered technology with the old classic Volkswagen design that we just love, and people love seeing this come down the street. Makes people happy. As far as the powertrain goes, it's the same as it is in the Beetle. Since it is a big bread box on wheels, it's not very aerodynamic, so the range is a little bit less than the Beetle, but that's okay. It's a proper stock 1960s bus. We can also do the 70s buses, but it's pretty pricey to do this, so we stick with the older collectible cars. So one of the things I'm excited about in the future that's happening right now, in fact, we just did a Porsche 911 with Tesla batteries and a larger motor. We want to stick with the classic cars that we love and understand, and there's a really high demand for. We want to stick with those cars, but we want to be able to go further and put a little bit more power into these cars.